This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the foster. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh yeah, it definitely is showtime. Already getting distracted, but I digress. Wednesday. Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. Thank you for all who are tuning in, for all who will be tuning in, and for all who choose to pay attention. Tonight, it's all us. And I'm really glad for that. But hope everybody's doing well. See what's going on here. I'm going to take my time tonight. I'm going to attempt to take my time. Hey, Paul. Already we're starting. I'm going to try to take my time tonight, and I'll explain that in a little while. For another, again, it's all me, all you tonight. You'll have the opportunity to call in should you choose to. I got a lot of stuff on my plate that I want to get off of my chest. I think you'll enjoy it, whether it's you watching me freak out or spaz out or just get upset or have a few jokes. But we'll be opening up the phones tonight, and I hope that somebody will have want to chime into the subject of the moment when we get into that. But hope everybody had a good weekend. It's the end of May already. Can you believe that? The end of May. Like, I don't know. Time is just flying. To me, time is just flying. It's just going. I got to stop thinking like that, because they say time is what you make it, but I don't really know. All I know is I'm living it, and it's just boom. Used to be able to do so much stupid stuff. I had so many things going on, projects going on, and still had time to chill, go do things and this and that. And now I'm just bogged down, and it's 3:00 in the morning every night, and where'd the day go? But anyway, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day holiday weekend. Land of the free, kinda. I'm beginning to wonder. I'm starting to question it, but that doesn't change the reason for Memorial Day. And although certain entities are, trying to just make it into nothing but fun, but it's the reason why we're able to stay here. It's the reason why I'm able to do this show, for the men and women who gave their lives for this country. So guys like me can do stupid shit, but with a purpose. So I hope you all had a great weekend. I got a lot of stuff, as I said, I want to take care of, because I just the month, all month long, I don't get, we have guests, and I hope you enjoyed some of the guests. But there's things going on in life, and I'm all about life with Peter G, right? And I want to touch base on it, but I don't have time. It's hard enough for me to cram this stuff into the amount of time that I have in the first place. And I don't. I'm always over. But there's things I want to talk about. Current events, things that are going on in life, which I guess is current events. The news. I don't want to be a news guy, but God knows, man. Somebody needs to be talking about this stuff in more detail. Don't just be a headline reader. It will bite you in the ass. Promise you. Trust no one. So that's what we're going to do tonight. As always, I thank you for the ones who watch, but I want you to please do me a favor. I'm so close to getting to a certain number to get back into YouTube to where they'll start opening up the algorithms and letting me be seen again. I need you to please go to YouTube and just go hit the subscribe button, please. If you kind of like what I'm doing, what we're doing, all the work that goes into this, the guests we have, the topics. Last week I caught up with that was this whole month, but starting to do that again. I'm going to explain that to you. This whole past month, we had some great musicians out of the LA area, top of the heap, come on and talk to me. People who I didn't get to talk to in many years. And I'm going to talk about that too, because some people got upset of the way I interview or do my show. It's not really an interview. It was a talk/interview. We'll talk about that though, because I want to, because I can tonight, because I can. But anyway, I brought some people on that you don't get to hear from. I hope you got something out of it. But then, other weeks we have other things, alcoholism, narcissism. Again, with 300 shows, you get a good choice of what you want to watch. And even if there are people talking about the same topic, you're getting their perspective. And I promise you, you're going to get something out of all this. You're not alone. Divorce and single parenting, my, earth point of where I started this whole show. People, single, being alone, dealing with the death of relatives, family, loved ones. We talk about it all right here. And if you like that, if you think you've gotten something out of it and you haven't gone to YouTube, just please, I guess I'm making a long story longer, but again, I got the time tonight and it's worth it. Just go and hit subscribe. It's free. Go to the Peter G Show on YouTube, hit the subscribe button because I need help over there. They have punished me so badly that now it just they make it harder for you to get going again. Unless I completely changed my whole name and the name of the show and just rebranded myself, then they wouldn't know the difference. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. Screw them. But it's a hard fight to fight, and I need your help. So please go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, go to Peter G Show, hit the subscribe button. That's all I'm asking. And then you can watch from whatever platform you enjoy watching from. But I just need a little help over there, okay? And again, for those of you who love watching the show and sometimes you got things to do, you got to go. You're in the car, you're at work, put an earbud in your ear, Google Peter G Show podcast, and listen to the Peter G Show on the go. We're on 26 different platforms now, and just Google it, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. I promise you we're there. So take the show on the road with you. We're at work. As always, work is boring. We're more fun. But do that. All right. Coming up in a couple of minutes, as I said, I got some things I want to get off my chest first, and then we're going to talk about some things that involves all of you, and it is super important. This country, things that are going on in this country, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, that's fine. I'll open up the phone lines and you can tell me if you choose, but I'm not counting on that. But I will have the phone lines open if you want to put in your 2 cents, your opinion, just like mine. But I hope it enlightens. So I got to talk about this stuff. I can't help it. We're living in it, And if I was just to bury my head and make believe like nothing is existing, nothing's happening, then shame on me. Why bother? Why bother? So I'm going to do that. And again, whether you agree with me or not, it's okay. But at least we get it out there. Maybe I'll learn something, Maybe you'll learn something. Piece of poop. All right. I'm starting to read text already from my connections. But listen, all right. So here's what the deal is. We'll be back in a minute. because right now I want to just take a minute and let us hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their DX1 driver fuel-saving additive that saves you money, and I'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, Clean Star Products. They actually have something that works, people. This little bottle. You just put this little bottle into a clean oil change, last the whole oil change, and then every time you fill up your fuel tank, put one of these little bottles in there, and you will improve your gas mileage up to 10%. Not only will you be doing that, you'll be taking care of your car in a way better lubricity, less friction. Take care of your body, and your body takes care of you. This little bitty bottle. Hard to believe, but it works. If you want more information on Clean Star Products, why don't you just go talk to them. Email them at www.cleanstarproducts.com. They are super cool, and they will talk to you. But I'm telling you, this stuff passes even California emissions. And if it passes California, it'll pass anything. But there's nothing more in a clean, eco-grade solution than this. Saving you gas, because gas is expensive and so's your car. Need I say more? Clean Star Products. Tell them the Peter G Show sent you. That way they know I'm doing something, all right? Speaking of doing something, I know what I did not do before this commercial. Did I tell you that next week, I'm going to have Dr. Michael Johnson on the show. He's a holistic health doctor. He's a doctor of natural medicine. And he's a pretty damn good one, too. He's really interesting. I found him. I like what he does. I like what he says. I like how he says it. He's really smart. And let's face it, people. We only have, just like our cars, you got to take care of your body or you're not going to be around. And there's some simple solutions to things. And it doesn't take a whole lot. And some, pros and cons to the way you live. And Dr. Michael Johnson is going to be on this show Wednesday, September 7th, to talk about things going on in your body. Holistic health, Dr. Michael Johnson, right here on the Peter G Show. Life of Peter G. June 7th, Wednesday. So I'd be here if I were you. Again, more entertainment with a purpose. Can't ask for much more than that. Well, you can. But let's just leave it at that. All right? Okay. All right, before I start opening up all the can of worms, I want to talk a little bit about, some people will find this shocking, but I want to talk about me. What about you? What do you think of me? Because I get a lot of that. I get people that say, hey, man, love your show. I get some people that go, dude, you just like to hear yourself talk. It's like, well, number one, I have to hear myself talk. And number two, I started out this show. For those of you who are the older crowd, who have been around the vintage fans, when I first started this show, I did not have guests. I didn't have anybody. I went on to a dead camera on Facebook Live and would just get on and tell stories, tell you things about what's going on, what happened in my life, what happened in everyday life, just talking to you, hoping that there's things that you can relate to. And that's what I did. And that's what I kind of still do in between having guests. So typically, if I have strangers, guests, that's an interview. That's an interview. That's where I ask them questions. They answer. They don't know a whole lot about me, nor will it be the time for them to know. They know some certain little things, but it's an interview. Now, sometimes when I have friends that are guests, and especially a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, especially this past month, all these last Steve Picaros, Tim Pierce, Terry Woolmans, these grade A, top of the heap musicians, I hadn't seen them in a long time. And so I had this great idea. Okay. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Instead of me just like doing an interview, which, they've done 90 million of them, I haven't talked to them in a while. I won't talk to them over the phone, and I'll just save our talk for when we come on the show, and we'll just like catch up. Like, they don't know what I'm doing. They don't know where I've been the past 10, 15 years. I don't know where they've been the past 10, 15 years. And we'll just exchange information, kind of like if we were sitting at lunch talking about this stuff, except I'm going to share it live on the show. And that was my great idea. Because it was raw and open. Just things were coming out. How you been? What have you been doing? And because they didn't know, half of them didn't even know I had a show. They do now. I told them on the show. They didn't know. They get a Christmas card. That's the only connection we had, was a once a year Christmas card that says Merry Christmas. And they see a picture of me. They see a picture of my daughter. They see a picture of us together, because it's like one of those multi-cards, So that's it. So we do the show. That's in a non-interview style. I just said, we're just going to have open talk mostly. I mean, we're not going to go into some deep personal stuff, but I go still into some personal stuff, as you have heard. But some people just don't get it. And I got to quit reading. I mean, someday there's going to be a point, like, again, I've been told by the best, don't read reviews, don't read comments, don't do all that, because it can make you crazy, because you get people that love you to death, and you get people that just want to be haters, and they want to crap on you, and that's the way they live. And I also understand that when I have high level guests, these people want to hear all about the guests. But you know what? They got 400,000 interviews. This was one interview / conversation that I was going to have my way, as I chose for us to catch up. And boy, some people, there's only those chosen few that they don't read enough. I try to make it blatantly obvious in the descriptions, and it's like, hey, this is not going to be your average interview. We're just going to be talking, catching up. He doesn't know what I'm doing. I don't know what he's doing. So and so, blah, blah. You still get those people that get upset. They go, you need to do more listening and less talking. It's like, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I should. Because I check these shows out. And I listen to me. And I sometimes say, oh, Peter. But, we're live. I'm not scripted. We're just people. And we're just doing this. And believe me, someday I will have to be structured. But right now, I'm not. So when I choose to have these conversations, and again, most of my interviews, I like them to feel like conversations. I don't want, nobody gets a list in their hand, and they get the Peter G show, this is what we're going to ask you, and these are the answers I expect to get from you. Nothing. They're just, they know when they come on that, hey, I'm just going to throw stuff at you. There's nothing I'm going to ask you that you don't know to answer. Whether you want to answer it or not, it's going to be up to you, but I'm going to ask you. And I try to be somewhat respectful, but I want to get to some deeper stuff, because that doesn't happen a whole lot nowadays. Some people just, again, back to the old adage, you can't please everyone. You just can't. So that's okay. But anyway, so I was doing these shows, and I just wanted to say, for those of you who get it, thank you. For those of you who don't understand, maybe this will help, because I'm not going to do this. It'll come to a point where, and a lot of people, again, but the pros tell me, why do you care? Why even care? But again, I'm still wired that way. I'm the guy who kind of cares. I do care. Care a lot. I want my message to go out to people to understand, and especially over the musicians. We talked a little bit about music because I had to set things up for, because they were behind the scenes musicians, not Eddie Van Halen's. but very big as anybody else could possibly be. But the thing is, most of the stuff I want to talk about is personal. And to let the people know that I don't care how much money you may or may not have, your problems are still the same. Still the same. And to me, that helps people. I mean, I think that's a good thing to know, like, wow, here's a superstar and he's got problems with his kids. He's got problems with his marriage, or he's got, the money goes up and down. And yeah, you may have a few more zeros on your checkbook, but the headaches are just the same. It's like, how do I keep all this? Sometimes it's simpler being, a lot of people after a while get tired of it. They go, I'm downsizing. This is bullshit. I'm tired. Keeping up with the Joneses. Flashy cars. Get to a point in your life, and you just go, who cares? Because one thing's for sure, if you're a really great person, you're a really great person. And if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. You're always going to be an asshole. You always probably were an asshole, and you'll probably die an asshole. But I'm out for the good ones. I love the good people. The assholes always seem to rise to the top for a short period, too. But you won't be seeing a whole lot of them. I mean, you may. Sometimes I get fooled. But, one day at a time. So that's the whole purpose, why we do this show. And I just wanted to bring that out. I don't talk about it a whole lot because it's not necessary, because we have other things to do. But being tonight, I just was in one of my moods. I said, I just want to talk. And I got so much shit to do. This might be a longer show, or I may not finish everything that I'm doing. We'll get into that. But at the same time, I also wanted to say I didn't have time this month. Where are you? May 2nd, I was honored enough, to be in another magazine article. Again, these don't happen all that often, but they're starting to. But this past May 2nd, I was featured in Bold Journey magazine. Right there, folks. Bold Journey magazine. If you want to see the article, I mean, it's in print as well, but you can see it online digitally. I don't have the print either. I need to get them to send me some. But you can go to boldjourney.com, and it's the May 2nd issue, and meet Peter G. And I'm not really sure if I'm featured, if I'm on the cover, or if I'm featured in the magazine, because I can't find it inside, like on in their table of contents. It's more of like it's a feature. So I guess I'm on it. But I'm very grateful, very thankful that they came to me. This is the second one of the year already so far. And we had 3 last year. So we're up to 5, folks, right there. Bold Journey magazine. And I'm a little proud of it. I can, Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, for somebody to go out of their way to come and say, hey, we'd like to hear about you and like to do an interview on you, because I love, believe me, it's way easier doing for me being the interviewee than the interviewer. I love to be on more people's shows and just answer the questions. It gives me a break. Prep all week for this show, and I'm still down to the wire of like, hey, what do I want to do? Because it's open. It's kind of like open mic night for me. It's open mic night. But either way, just wanted to say that too, and talk about my misunderstood shows, and here's the last thing. I've been told, and I'm not going to confirm nor deny, but they go, Peter, you know what? When you get all worked up, you really start like getting all crazy, and you don't finish your sentences, and you go from one half sentence into another half or a 3/4 sentence, and you start getting all over the map, and you just start coming apart at the seams, and you really need to like take a deep breath and watch that. And I said, that's bullshit. You gotta be kidding me. I always, no way. And I said, prove it. And then they said, I'm overtime. I don't even have a guest, and I'm running overtime now. There's so much to do. So much to do. You want to leave on a... Oh, I get to... Okay, so I got to do this now. Okay, so that's enough of that. I did not... You're lucky, kind of. Maybe you're lucky, because I was getting ready to do a little bit of current event stuff, with some things about... I didn't want to get into it. because I'm going to run over, and then I'm going to get steamed up, and the show's over, and I won't be able to blow off that steam because I don't need to talk to myself or you guys. I still don't buy it because I think that they edited. I didn't do that. I don't do that because I don't get that worked up. I just don't. I mean, I do get work. All right, sometimes I get worked up. It happens. Sometimes you don't know what to do. I mean, there's like so many things that you don't know what to pick from, and you just kind of do it. Guilty as charged. Yeah, that's me. But you get what you get. Again, unscripted. Bullet points is about the most structure that we have on this show, just to try to keep something. No teleprompters. I just speak from within, and I challenge and dare anybody to try and do it. I honestly, the late night shows back during COVID, I made a lot of fun of it too. They had to go into their homes, and then they were talking to a dead camera, basically doing my show. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Multi-million dollars they had behind them, but at that point they were depending solely on Stephen Colbert to use his wits and his professionalism and all his knowledge and talent, and he was naked. And he looked at you go back, and they won't show any of those shows anymore, but if you go back and look at him, he didn't know what to do. And I get it. It's tough. This is not easy. It's cake when you got everybody doing everything for you. Crowds. They got guys on the side telling the people when to clap, when to laugh. You know? Me? No. You're either going to laugh or you're not going to laugh. And, you know, that's kind of funny. But again, you know, I was forced to, so when I'm doing things, my mind, I'm kind of like a big child. Because you ever notice children when an infant is starting to learn to talk? I remember my daughter and a lot of kids, and they're trying to put together sentences, and their brain is going so quick that they start to stutter. They're going and so I go out, you know. It's kind of like me. I got so many things going on that I don't know where to begin, but I do begin. I just kind of finish kind of funky. Sometimes I'm you know, things are just going, but I don't mind it. I don't care because I'm grabbing straws. Like I have choices I can make. Nobody's telling me what to do. And I like that right now. Someday I might be under the gun a little bit. They might have a thumb on my neck or finger on my neck because they're paying me big bucks. And even then, I'll only do what I agree to do because I still don't mind what I'm doing, but under more structure. I will never do a show that I don't believe in, because Pepsi was asking me that. He says, if somebody paid you big money to do something, but it goes against your morals, would you do it? And I was like, no. And I could use the money, but no. I'm not going to join those ranks. We're going to get into that too. Okay. Just wanted to talk to you about that. Sorry. Enough about me. But it's good to know about me because I'm here every week, and if you're kind enough to be watching, you take time out of your lives, I'm just being open and honest. It's like, you know what? We're all just people. I'm not out to impress anybody. I mean, I want you to enjoy the entertainment, hopefully with some great information that goes with it. But, you know, I'm not, I got plenty of friends. I mean, and stuff I say, I'm not, you know, wishing, please like me. I want you to like the show. I'm just the delivery guy. Just so, you know, it is. This, my own friend says it is what it is. Now, make sure I'm not skipping more stuff. I'm going to open up the phone lines. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to talk about, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about gay trans stuff or Pride Month? Or do you want to talk about our country and all that's going wrong with it, which is part of our country? It's all one and the same, but I kind of got some specifics. But 818-259-7983 is the phone number. I'm going to start off, and you can, I'm going to start with the gay pride stuff because this is getting really crazy, stupid too. And again, big disclaimer: it's got nothing to do. I'm no hater. If you're gay, I got no problem with it. If you're trans, real trans, I got no problem with it. I just hate the clown show. I just hate all the misconceptions and everybody just going off the hook. And believe me, the real, true blue gays, they don't need to be, put on a pedestal. These pride gays or whatever want to be put on a pedestal, and and they want all of us to worship them and say, "Oh, thank God you're here." And I don't care. I disagree because I don't care. I'm not asking you to watch my show. Just like, don't ask me. I mean, I would like you to watch my show, but if you choose not to, I'm not going to get irate and start screaming at you. 818-259-7983 is the number. And so we're going to talk about, first of all, anybody follow sports? I'm not a big sports fan, but I watch a little of this and a little of that. I'm busy. Unfortunately, I don't have the time. I got other things that interest me. But, I mean, what do you consider sports? The Dodgers were in the news because they turned down having a Pride Day for Dodger baseball. Again, corporate America. We're going to get into this. The Dodgers turned down having like Pride Day. And they caught a bunch of heat from it. Like they got to wear special uniforms. They got rainbows on it or something, or patches. Just like if you're supporting breast cancer awareness, and they would wear a pink patch or pink shoes or pink baseball gloves or something like that. Okay, cancer. Totally understandable. But they're asking the Dodgers to have a Pride, because, by the way, tomorrow, starting June 1st, is Pride Month. Not day, but Gay Pride Month. You get a whole friggin' month. I don't understand it. Why do you need a whole month? You should live your life gay and be proud if you're gay, but just go be gay. Maybe if you had one day, because I know it's an obstacle, it's a toughie. There's a lot of people that are homophobic and stuff like that. But majority nowadays, most people cannot give a shit. You want to be gay? Go be gay. Just don't throw it in my face. I don't prefer it. I don't mind it. I love you as a person. You're a great person, but I don't have to, and my children especially, don't have to shove it in kids' faces. And we're going to get to that. Get to a lot of things. I may not finish this. We may be here till midnight. Here I go. But the Dodgers caved. They said no, and then they said yes. Okay, we'll have a Pride Day. Now, here's the problem. It's okay if you want to have a Pride Day, and I mean, what are you supposed to do if you go to the baseball game? You get a discount if you're gay. You got to show your gay card. I don't get it. But here's where I have the problem. If you're gay and you want to go to a baseball game, it's like, go to a baseball game. Great. But this is not what it's attracting. It's not attracting this. It's attracting attention through like a circus, a clown show, I guess, as it was told to me, and I just have to agree, because one example right here I'm going to give you is this. This is the Sisters of Perpetual Stupidity. I don't know what their name is. Perpetual something. They're a little group organization in Los Angeles who's been around for a long time. They've been around since the 80s, I think. And I'm told that they do some pretty good things for raising awareness and money for AIDS and things like that, because these are obviously some gay people who started this organization. But the thing is, they're dressing up as nuns and in clown makeup, and it's like you can't take it seriously. I don't think you can take that seriously. Like, I mean, that is not so. This is what's trotting around at the Dodger baseball game. And they expect you, the normal person with your children, to say, that's okay. It's almost like the drag queen story times and all this bullshit that's going on. It's like, it doesn't need to be there. It just doesn't. Doesn't mean I mind it. You want to go be a drag queen? Look, many of there's a great handful of people that know. When I was 17 years old, 18 years old, I was already playing music in bars. I would go get my hair cut at a gay bar in the dressing room of the drag queens because one of the drag queens was a hairdresser. And so at 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock while I was on my way to a gig, I would go there, sit back there amongst all of them. I was 17, 18 years old. And get my hair cut and then be on my way. I knew all of them because when we were younger, we used to sneak into this gay bar because we looked a little bit older because we could sneak into it. But I wasn't gay. Still not. Made a lot of friends. Had a lot of fun. But I'm not gay. I'm just not. And God bless it, man. I got hit on all the time, especially by the older guys. It's like, but I'm not gay. You know, and that's okay. But the thing was, if you're a drag queen doing a show, that's amongst adults. You're doing a show amongst adults. You don't bring your children. Kids are confused enough. I can already tell my voice is starting to raise. Hold on. Smooth. Being a child is confusing enough. It really is. It's so confusing. I mean, they're kids. There's so much going on in this world. So trying to raise them just to think straight, I don't mean that in a gay straight kind of way. I just mean think and be normal and not have obsessions and ADDs and all this kind of stuff. The last thing you need to do is take your children, which, you know, baseball is that family kind of sport, to take them to a baseball game and have this running around. And then trying to explain it to your kids. And believe me, this is just this organization. I promise you that if it's Pride Day, that all the West Hollywood gays, or not even the gays, the ones who want to be flirty and fun and just all over the top, because there's gay and then there's hey gay. And again, I don't mind any of it. I really don't. I just think there's a place for everything. Now, Halloween in West Hollywood, this great big parade in West Hollywood, Boys Town. It's a predominantly gay area, gay bars, like all the way down. Well known. And fine. No big deal. That's great. It's a lot of fun down there, too. It is. If you're open-minded and don't mind. Nobody's going to hurt you. But the thing is, during Halloween, that's the time when all the closet gays who are more feminine, that's when they get to throw on a dress and put on makeup and do their thing and they can get away with it because it's Halloween. Hell, I played in bands. We used to dress up as women all the time. It was friggin' Halloween. Nothing funnier than seeing a guy try to pull it off as a girl. But it's one thing if you're really gay and you're really trans and you're trying to be a woman and you're trying to pull it off and you're trying to look like a woman. But I got to tell you, like, you're not looking like a woman in this picture with your beard. All three of them got beards. I mean, so it's a statement. So they're making a statement, but they're not really living by what is really going on. So they're making a statement for attention. So again, during Halloween in West Hollywood, I mean, the streets it's just flooded. Everybody's dressed up in the craziest outfits you can possibly imagine. But then again, it's Halloween. Go for it. It's friggin' Halloween. And it's nighttime and no children are out on the streets at that time doing in that environment. But to go to a baseball game and you want to support Pride Day, but you're going to get all the Halloween in Pride Day. It's, and then you got to explain it to your kids like this is, and because they want you to say this is normal activity. Let me rephrase that. It's less than 1% of the entire population. It's not normal. But if you want to do it, cool. It's your life. Whatever floats your boat. 818-259-7983. Nobody? Agree or disagree? I'm just saying, there's a time and a place for everything, and here's where it starts. You got to hit them in the pocket, and there's been a lot of that going on. Memorial Day weekend. Somebody took a picture of this. They're going through. I don't know if you got a department store. We have them here, but I don't have them. They're not in every place. But this is a department store called Kohl's Department Store, and they took a picture of this. I'm really hoping it's accurate, but it's a department store, boys section in Kohl's, Tomboy Pride collection. Oh my God, halter tops and panties for little boys. Again. This is nonsense. This is where the nonsense comes in, where they think because there's a certain amount of people that we have to say that, you know what, you should be able to have this available for you and your children as well. And I got a problem with that because children are confused enough. We all know that I've seen little boys, and I probably did it myself too, walking around in their mommy's high heels. But that's because they're innocent. They have no idea. It's just they see their mommy doing it or whatever. But we don't go saying, okay, these are the shoes you're going to wear because this is what you should wear. And this is what's going on. These are the clothes you should wear. Target, come on. Are all over the news. They get what they get. And this is really, you get what you get. Target, breaking out all their children attire and putting it right out front. Their pride line. No children need this. They don't need this. Even if it's just like innocent, like rainbow color shirts and all that, they got clothes for children. They're called garanimals. They got stuff that's fun for children. We don't have to shove this small percentage ideology down to make it acceptable. It's not that important. If they grow up and want to be dressing like that and tucking and want to wear women's makeup and want to be gay or are gay and realize they are, because again, I still have this theory of mine, and nobody chooses. You just things in your genetics, just chromosomes got a little mixed up and you came out in a boy's body, but you really kind of a girl. Happens. Just like deformities. I don't mean deformities. It's not a bad thing. And again, I'll get the haters, but it's I don't agree or disagree. It's like it is what it is. Just don't shove it down my face. I don't have to buy into your fantasy. And nor do I want my children or your children to have to put up with it either. They shouldn't be able to they shouldn't even think about things. My daughter is 17, almost 18 years old now, and there's things coming out of her mouth that are like things that I would say. And I'm almost cringing because I still try to not be the real full-on me in front of her. I still try to leave her to be somewhat of a child, even though I know now I'm the one in the fantasy. She knows I'm sure, more stuff than I even care to know. But I always tried to let her be a child because you only get one shot at it. And I don't need to be twisting her head. The divorce was bad enough, and she survived that, which many children don't. And I just refuse. I try to let her grow decently without shoving things down people's throats. Like, nothing bad, but the way I talk, I swear. I say things that maybe, and there's certain swear words that I will swear around her and certain words that I won't or try not to. But she hears and sees all of it, and I know she does. So we just keep playing stupid with each other. She just like Santa Claus. I kept Santa Claus going for the longest time, I think past 13, and she just kept agreeing with me. So I kept doing it. Even though I knew that she probably knew. She humored me and accepted the fact that I was just trying to be that guy because there was so much magic in those early days. So much. The look in her eyes when she'd get up and see all this stuff. And it was all brought by this guy in a beard. And okay, that's fantasy, but that's child fantasy. Gay pride is not child fantasy. Well, it is for some adults, but that ain't happening in this show. 818-259-7983. Again, the quiet type. Even if you agree with me. But Target. So Target, the woke agenda and corporate America They get money. I don't know. I'm hearing all these stories. They have to follow a certain, format so they can be funded and this and that. It's like those people need their asses kicked. It's stupid. It's costing them money, and it's stupid. So let them cost them money. Bud Light. That guy was not a transgender woman. He was a failing gay actor. I got a great clip for you, too, tonight. I'm going to play it. I don't care how over we go. He wasn't, he just did what he did to make money. So it's really kind of an insult to the gay community, or for the women or men who really want to be women, who are going through the hassles, the ups and downs, and the surgeries and the medications for life, and the screw ups and the taunting for being something they're not and trying to fit in. And for those who don't understand, who ridicule them, it's a slap in the face to these people, the real ones. Target needs to let them take their billions to go down and like Bud Light, losing their ass. I haven't bought anything Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch since then. And I just head for the mountains. But it's disgraceful. It's like, what? It just comes to a point. It's like, what the hell are you thinking? You can't be that stupid, can you? But the answer is clear. And yeah, it generates a lot of talk and a lot of free advertising, but it ain't good. Again, I digress. Madonna, she said, any publicity is better than no publicity. But I don't think that these kind of places, because I know a lot of people who, Target, they prefer Target over Walmart. They don't like Walmart, and for their own reasons. It's like, screw it. If Target wants to go do that, I'm over at Walmart. Like that. I got no problem with Walmart. I mean, they look, every corporation has an agenda. Whether they're using cheap labor or this and that, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You cannot buy it, but somebody else will. They're not hurting. I remember a couple weeks ago, I walked into Walmart and I said, every single piece of clothing that I'm wearing came from Walmart. I had Walmart throw-on shoes. I had Walmart shorts. I had a Walmart t-shirt. I even had Walmart. Well, they weren't made from Walmart, but I bought them in Walmart. And Walmart underwear, because at that time, I don't know. My point being, it's like, you know what? You got to go somewhere now. Again, because it was a throw-around day, and I'm not doing anything fancy. I need to go. If you're not doing any fancy shopping. But it was just funny because you got to go somewhere. So let Target take bite the bullet. Screw you guys. We don't need you. Don't need you. And that's that. Because look, at the end of the day, being gay doesn't make you that much special. It just doesn't. Nobody's gonna just you being gay doesn't mean what we have to go. Oh, look, we got to tell everybody that you're being gay. You're not anything special. You're just gay. And that's okay. Just be gay. Again, I talk to a lot of gay people, and they're pissed with all this nonsense going on. This pride. It's one thing to reinforce and believe in what you believe in, but this pride, throwing it in your face and having to shove it in every commercial and everything, and your kids are looking and going, Why is, because it doesn't make sense. Because again, remember, I was 17, 18, sneaking into this gay bar and even getting my hair cut, in the dressing room from a drag queen who was a hairdresser, making a couple extra bucks. But I was never gay because I'm just not gay. Now, if I was, I would have been. But no matter how much you put me in that environment, I wasn't gay. But children are very influent. You can influence them, really easily. When you raise a child, if you teach them to speak English, they're going to know English and think that's the way to do it. If you raise a child to wear a skirt, a boy to wear a skirt and high heels, and tell him this is life, they're going to grow up thinking that's life, because that's what they learned. You don't need to be doing that. They need to see what normalcy is, and then let them pick and choose when they get older. It just pisses me off. Well, shit. I'm going to stay on this subject for 1 minute. I got a little video, and this is, I think this is a damn good explanation. This guy, I love this guy, about gay and trans, because again, you know, I know that once this show's over, then I'll start getting the hate mail or the this and that. I'm not a hater. I don't hate gays. I just don't think, I think everything has a place and a purpose. Everything. This show has a place. I have a place in life. And I don't go throwing it. Like, I don't go knocking on the Jehovah Witnesses door going, hey, you know what? You need to watch the Peter G show, and you really do, and then just continually nagging them day after day, you know, looking through their windows, going, "Are you watching the Peter G show?" I don't care, although they come knocking on my door, but they, that happens once, then I send them on their way, and then they go away. This whole thing about shoving this ideology down everybody's throat and saying it's okay. Listen, it's okay to be free. It's okay to do whatever you want to do as an adult. Leave our children out of this until they get big enough to decide for themselves. That's what I'm saying. I got no problem with gay people. I never had, never will. There's assholes in every bunch. I got white people that are assholes, black people that are assholes, Asian people that are assholes, gay people that are assholes, and in the crazy department, everything the same. And I got a ton that I love in every department too. The variety of life. Pick your poison. But I stick with the good people. And if you're gay and you're good, you know, nobody bothers you and you don't bother them. I don't bother people. You want to check things out? Check it out. You don't want to check it out? Don't. Don't be hating me. If you are, then you're the one with the problem. I want to play this video real quick. This explains, and he did a real good job, and this explains pretty much everything in a nutshell about, you know, all the bullshit that's going on, and check it out.
This just further proves that the Republican Party knows nothing about trans people or the LGBTQ plus.
No, Harry, it proves that you don't understand what irony is, and I find that to be hilarious. But let's unpack this whole thing. First and foremost, I don't care if you're gay, trans, or whatever. You do you if that's what makes you happy. But Dylan's a cross-dressing man. He's not a trans person. And we know that because the LGBTQIA community has told us that. We know their definition of cross-dresser. See, it's a slap in the face to real trans women. People who really have gender dysphoria, that go for the whole thing, that do the drugs, that have a lifetime of issues now to deal with, and they've had the surgeries. They're doing everything they can to be a woman. Dylan's not doing that. See, Dylan was a failed gay actor a year and a half ago. And all of a sudden, Dylan figured out that, well, if I put on makeup and I claim to be trans, I can get a following and I can get jobs. And now Dylan's got a following. That includes you, Harry, because I bet you didn't know who Dylan was before he started putting on a dress claiming to be trans. Now he's got millions of dollars in the bank. Now he's claiming all of a sudden to be a lesbian. See, and you're claiming that gender and sex and biology don't intersect. Well, in this case, they actually do. See, could you imagine if Dylan went out with a lesbian girl? Now, I've actually asked a lesbian girlfriend of mine, and I asked her that very scenario, and she said, well, first and foremost, I'd have to be blind to not know that Dylan was a man. But she said, let's get past that. If she went out with him and then she were going home and they started getting steamy and she reached down between his legs and felt his stick shift, she said it would be over, done with right then and there because that's not what she's attracted to. But you guys seem to be claiming now it's a choice when we were told our entire lives that it's not a choice. But you're now claiming it's a choice. But she would choose not to do that because she's not attracted to that. So isn't she now homophobic or transphobic as a lesbian? A real lesbian? Biology, sex, and gender all in one? Real lesbian? How about you, Harry? If I got this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous trans woman to go to dinner with you, you didn't know it was a man, and you started getting hot and heavy, and you decided, wow, this is going to go somewhere. I'm going to go back to my mom and dad's place because that's where I live. We're going to go downstairs to the basement where we have some privacy, and then all of a sudden you reach down in between her legs, and she has a stick shift. Are you so politically ideologized that you're going to continue to move forward, that you're going to choose to fight against what you're actually attracted to and go ahead and finish having sex with this person? I would say that you're not going to. So then that would then in turn make you a homophobe or a transphobe. See, we were told our whole lives it's not a choice. But you guys are now claiming that it is a choice. So you need to make up your mind. Is it or is it not? Because I don't want to have sex with somebody that has a penis doesn't make me anything phobic. That means I'm not attracted to that and it's a no starter. It's not going to happen. But you're claiming I need to do it anyways. I need to bite the bullet, so to speak. Well, that seems a bit odd, doesn't it, Harry? You are wrong on so many fucking levels, it's not even funny.
Does that make any sense? It does to me. I love that guy. Go check him out at The Band Beard on TikTok. He talks about a lot of things. Pretty smart. But anyway, and by the way, it's when he's talking about, he was talking about you happen to be with a trans girl that you don't know is a guy because he's super hot looking, and you realize that it's a guy. Would you still go through with it? I've met some people in my day that said, "Oh, I was drunk. I didn't care." I care. Oh boy. Anyway, just saying. Moving right along, this is all I was talking, things I want to talk about this country and all this stuff. Well, this has all to do with this country because look what it's doing to this country. But I'm going to talk about this country stuff. Our nation. And we're going to go over and I don't care. Because Jimmy smokes crack and I don't care. Or he cracked corn. What did he do? See what I mean? Everything's just getting so diluted. Jimmy smokes crack and I don't care. Wow. And that's what's going on in this nation too. Our country right now, they're, negotiating the national debt ceiling and, trying to come to a negotiation. I don't know about you people, but I've just gotten to the point where I don't trust anybody anymore. I don't trust the Republicans. I don't trust the Democrats. I definitely don't trust. I mean, it's just the Democrats have gone way, way crazy. And I don't care if you jump my shit about it because, again, I used to be a Democrat. All right. My parents were Democrat all their whole lives. Democrats from the past are not the Democrats of today. It's crazy ass stuff. I'd be in a heartbeat because I wasn't necessarily a Republican fan. But I'd be in a heartbeat. But they are gotten so... Stevie Wonder can see how crazy they've gotten. So I only got two choices, and right now I'm leaning the other way. Okay? That's just the way it is. Do start doing some good stuff, and I'll be there. But anyway, either way, right now they're trying to negotiate for the national debt ceiling, for the spending, bill. And they're kind of coming to terms. And I don't trust it because the Democrats aren't bitching enough about it, which, they hate everything the Republicans do. And the Republicans are saying, yeah, we're coming to a great deal. But yet I'm hearing some of these younger, newer guys who've had enough of the old politicians. Number one, I freaking hate politicians. I hate that word. I hate it all. I just do. And I don't like to use the word hate. But look what it's doing to our country. You're seeing some of these newer guys coming in on the Republican side, and even I have to go look for names on the Democratic side because, unfortunately, right now, a lot of the younger ones are the ones who are making all the crazy shit go on. But 818-259-7983, I knew it was going to be like this. I don't even know why I bothered. Because every once in a while, you get that classic call, and I go, God, I'm glad I did that. But so there's a couple of these younger guys that are coming out. And they're senators, congressmen, or whatever, and they're on the Republican side, and they're saying, because we got there's tons of Republicans I don't like. Lindsey Graham, McConnell, all these guys, all these old school ass kissers, say one thing, do another. They all need to go. They just need to go. They should be they need to go to jail for what they've done to us. But they're in there. So a lot of these younger guys, some of these, black and white. It's not the white guys. Stop with the white stuff, white supremacy and all this bullshit. Plenty of everybody doing well and doing bad. And they're coming out and they're going, this is not a good deal. It's the same old thing. At the end of the day, folks, unfortunately, we're fighting between Democrat and Republicans, but they're both on the same team. They're both bowing to the God above, whoever's running the show. So they got us separated, got us fighting. They internally know where they stand. It doesn't matter to them. They're prospering any way you look at it. Ain't none of them worrying about what they can afford at the grocery store. Promise you that. And it's sad. And they're fighting over this bill. And until we can clean house, there's just no way around it. But I'm just saying that you need to open your eyes. Don't go just because Biden comes up and says everything is going great. We're coming to some great answer to the whole deal. You know, there's some great negotiations and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay for him. It's not going to be okay for you and your grandchildren. And no matter what they come to, I mean, we're in such a mess right now. It doesn't really, I mean, it does matter. I can't say it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, they're trying to dig us deeper and deeper. We won't be alive when all this, when your grandchildren are having to try to dig their way out of all this. No way. If you love your family, you'll just pay a little more attention. Don't go by what they're just saying on TV. You got to listen to like a lot of different people. You have to, because the same thing with our borders. I'm going to skip through this stuff faster than I want to. I really am. I know the people who don't live at the borders in the Texas and Arizonas aren't feeling the pinch just yet of the stealing, the trash, the drugs that are coming over. But you're going to all feel it. These people there's millions, over 6 million already came over that they know of. You know, it's not talked about. Like pick all. There's so much disaster going on in this country that you don't know where. You know, there's not enough news to cover it. Not that they do it properly. Some a little better than others, but it's all an agenda. Again, trust no one. But most people are just headline readers, reading the headlines and going, "Well, that's it." He says they came to a good agreement. They both agreed. There's so much involved in all this stuff. That's why there's a few people making a stink about it, and they're getting crushed. You know, you're not going to hear very much from them, but I did manage to catch a couple of things, and I should have written down their names, but I was on the go when I was listening to this. And there's some good people in our government. There are some good people in there, but they're getting outnumbered. They're outnumbered. And all I can say is, please stop with the I know people who are Democrats, and we could be burning to the ground, but they're going to vote Democrat because they're Democrats. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. You're going to get two choices. Pick a person that you think might be doing better, but do a little research, not just by what you're being told. I don't believe anybody anymore. I don't even believe doctors anymore. Not that they're all bad doctors, but they're being told stuff, and all they're doing is passing the information. When a lot of you guys got the old 1-2, the doctors were doing what they were being told. So they go, well, it's so-and-so. It must be right? No. It's all coming out. And it's always been out, but it's coming out more and more. I question everything. They all have an agenda. And I'm not saying you got to be this paranoid. I don't go down the rabbit hole. I don't go there. Pepsi goes down the rabbit hole, and I go, you know what, Pepsi, I've had enough. I don't want to hear this shit no more. But there's a certain practicality for life that you need to be aware, and the sheep are just going to end up being run off the cliff eventually. Open your eyes, people. Life is too important. I love life. That's why I'm here. Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. Who could ask for more? I love life. I do. And I want to try to live it. But man, I mean, I talk to my daughter all the time about this struggle. How the hell do people afford to buy groceries? How do they afford it? The stuff that I was spending about $20 on is now costing me about $37, $40, almost double. I've seen things gone soda. I don't drink a whole lot of it. I'm trying not to, but let's face it, it's a very consumable product. A liter of Coke used to be 99 cents. It's $2.50 a liter now. That's just one stupid example. I mean, I just wanted to give you something to get to compare to. Everything. It's insane. I don't know how people can afford it. Your average people who are just getting by. How the hell do you get to eat? We don't go out. We don't. How do you dine out? Dining out. These restaurants, these poor restaurant owners can't. They got to raise their prices. The employees need to work. It's a chain reaction. Everything from again, the economy. It's crap. So get off this I'm a Democrat till I die thing, or I'm a Republican till I die thing. Figure out what's going on, because there's way more stuff going on between the lines. They're all working for the same team. If somebody good comes out, you see Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr. They're not going to let him run because he was one of the good ones. Like, that's why they killed Kennedy, John Kennedy, because he was a Democrat, but he didn't want to play that game. You know, he was for the people, and they killed him. You know they did. They haven't released it in over 50 years, but they did, and it's gonna come out one day. They killed him. Then they killed his brother too. So you can't be a good Democrat, apparently. It doesn't matter anymore, people. You just got to try to find the best, what's for the people, and not what's best for the government. The government is killing us. They're messing us up big time. This is an endless. I can go on. In fact, I just may, take a month and just do stuff all month long, because it's just again, I didn't know. I mean, not I didn't know. I was always aware, but I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. And I don't think I came around until the 8 years of Barack Obama, because I kind of liked him. I thought he was a good talker. And everybody kept telling me, dude, there's things going on behind that. I knew he didn't get into office. I knew he was put into office. Almost most presidents are. That's why they hate Trump so bad, because they never thought he'd win. But the people wanted somebody to straighten this shit out. And this man's willing to do it. That's why the only reason why I'm not a Trump lover or nothing like that, but he actually does something. I don't care about his personality. I had a boss who was just like him. Drove me crazy. I was a nervous wreck around this guy, and I don't get nervous that much. But it was just like, he drove me nuts. But at the end of the day, he ran that business, and that business was going. He picked up the numbers and all that stuff. But so you don't have to love Trump. You just have to love what he's doing for you. And even I can tell when he kind of pumps the brakes a little bit, because he's still on a fine line too, but he pushes them to the limits. And that's why they hate him so bad. They're willing to do anything. You see, they're running them through courts. They're doing it. And again, a lot of people are going to not agree with me because you're just Democrat. Don't care. Give me somebody good on the Democratic side and I'm back over. But you don't have nobody, because it's so, starting to use harsh language, it's so messed up. This fentanyl, our borders, they are willing. They're not doing a damn thing. Just letting them come in. They want to flood the gates, cause this country just to collapse. Then you depend on the government. I'm probably going to get shut down for this too, but who cares? You know how many people are dying a day on fentanyl? About 300 people a day in the United States. About 18 to 20 alone in the state of California are dying strictly from fentanyl overdoses or accidental overdoses, whatever. The nicest kid on the block who experimented with a drug thinking he was taking one thing and there was fentanyl in it dies, destroying a family. So their kid was a little bit, he was growing up, he was exploring, but he wasn't a bad kid. The homeless are dying like crazy, and you go, so they're homeless? No, they're people too. Drug addicts on the streets. This is just out of control, people. It's just out of control, and it's all because our current administration is allowing for this. They brought it in, and they can blame it on the past and all that. There was no blame, and just open your eyes. Stop being in denial. All this stuff is happening. And again, it's happening in our country, this country, the United States of America, which you never would have ever thought it could happen in this country. And that's why, unfortunately, people are buying into all this bullshit. Maybe you're watching the news. The news is the worst. I never would have thought that this would happen in a million years. You think that this stuff only happens in Iran, where they have state-controlled television and they only tell you what they want you to know and tell you what they want you to hear. But it's been happening to us in the nicest way. You trust them. That's the news. So you believe in what they say. Why would they say it to us? But you know what? Many empires have gone down. The Roman Empire went down, you can rule for so long. There's nothing unusual that for this country to become a second nation. Not a number one. It can happen. It's happening right now. I mean, if we continue to let this happen, it's going to happen. We're going to be talking to China. But when you see your allies jumping ship, France, Saudis. They're jumping ship now, and they're starting to buddy up with China because we're getting weak. We're losing it. I mean, I'm not making this up. It's on. They at least say that on the news, at least most of it. But and to me, it's like being in prison and you got some big guy for protection. You're his girlfriend. That's what a lot of these allies, they are girlfriends. and then all of a sudden, somebody beats the shit out of the big guy, and then the girlfriends go to the next big guy for protection because this big guy just got his ass kicked, and he ain't gonna have any street cred anymore. That's what's happening to us every day. And if you want to just go about your business and make like everything is okay, go for it. But we're going to get what we're going to get. At least be aware. At least be aware. I had a friend, close friend. He says, it doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect my life. I beg to differ. It's one big world we're living in. It all affects everything. I could go on and on, but I'm going to have to stop. And for some of you, you may be happy, but for some of you, I hope you're getting something out of this. And I wish you would have, if you disagreed to call or not, but that doesn't matter as long as you're listening. I'm just the messenger. I got plenty of great people that I listen to that I could bring on, but I don't want to get super over the top tonight. I just had to because there's just too much going on. Once in a while, I got to just let it go. Otherwise, I start to explode, as you saw in my video of getting overloaded about me wanting to talk about stuff. It just drives me crazy. And because we're living in this, and I have a daughter that I care, a child that I care very much about, and the people that she's going to be growing up with, and the world that we're going to be leaving for them. I mean, I plan on being around for a while, quite a while more, I hope, God willing. And, but at the same time, there's just so much shit that's going on. And when it's going to hit, it's going to hit. And nobody cares about you. They do not care about you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I want to remind you that next week, June 7th, holistic healer, Dr. Michael Johnson, Doctor of Natural Medicine, going to be on this show right here. He's full of great information, taking care of yourself, especially during these times. You might want to mark that on your calendar and check it out because he's really interesting. He's got a lot of great information, and I got a lot of questions for him, and I think it's going to be a great show. Next week, Wednesday, June the 7th, Dr. Michael Johnson, natural medicine doctor, right here on this show. Everything is not solved with a pill, folks. That's a fact, and I'm living proof of that too. For those of you who watch the show, thank you. But please go subscribe to YouTube, my YouTube channel, Peter G Show YouTube channel, please. I really need to get that those numbers up. They will not let me be seen enough until I hit a certain number again, which I can't get those numbers because I can't get seen enough. So it's this, you know what I mean? You can't win or lose. So I'm asking you, my faithful followers, please do me a favor. If you're watching me from LinkedIn, please just go over to YouTube, the Peter G Show, and hit the subscribe button. Please. Please. I could use the help. And again, for those of you who love watching the show, but once in a while you're too busy or you got to go to work or you're in the car, just take and Google Peter G Show podcast and look up and find one of your favorite podcast platforms. Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcrawler, Apple Podcasts. I'm on 26 of those platforms. Believe me, I'm sure that I'll pop up on one that when you Google it, and just take an earbud, put it in your ear, and check out the Peter G Show. There's plenty of stuff to listen to. You can either hear me rant, or you can hear me talk to some good people, good guests, good company, friends, about subject matter that's important to you, whether it's surviving divorce and single parenting, or having trouble with drug and alcohol abuse, narcissism, relationship problems, you name it. I think I cover a lot of ground, and I'm always open to suggestions. If you got something that you think I should cover, let me know, as always. But again, life is short, and I'm trying to make the best of it, and I want to share it with you. I would not be sitting here. I got plenty of things to do. I could be kicking back and just enjoying things, but I choose to be here, and I hope you'll be here with me, and I'm glad you're here with me. Each and every Wednesday, like clockwork, Life with Peter G, The Peter G Show. I want to thank my sponsor for knowing what I do and still supporting me. So if you want to save up to 10% fuel economy in your vehicle, because you know how expensive gas is, go over to Clean Start Products and get their DX1 driver and drop this in your oil and your fuel, and it will make a difference in your life because you'll be saving money and taking care of your car and getting better gas mileage and cleaner emissions too. So go check them out. All right. Life is good. We're making the best of it. I love you all. I do. Most of you all. 99.9%. A couple of people I got a thorn, put a thorn in my side, but even them, I forgive. My name is Peter G. I want to thank you for watching the Peter G Show right here. And we'll see you next week. And thanks for listening. And let me know what you think, all right? Make a difference in this world. Let's do it. As always, I love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.